Pashupatastra is the most destructive, powerful, irresistible weapon mentioned in the Hindu scriptures. It is an irresistible and the most destructive personal weapon of Shiva, Kali, and Adi Para Shakti, which can be discharged by the mind, the eyes, words, or a bow. It is said that this weapon must be never used against lesser enemies or by lesser warriors, as the Pashupatastra can destroy creation and vanquish all beings. This weapon is capable of immense carnage and overpowering all beings. Therefore, it is advised that the Pashupatastra should not be used. This dominant weapon is an important aspect of the Pashupatinath temple, which is located in Kathmandu, Nepal. The Pashupatinath temple is believed to be one of the most popular Shiva temples of the world. No known warrior has ever used this mighty weapon in the history of Hinduism, but there's a story on how Arjun got the possession of this weapon. In Mahabharata, Duryodhan, with the help of his uncle Shakuni, robbed the Pandavas of their rightful share of their kingdom in a game of dice. As a result of this, the Pandavas had to spend many years in the forest. While they were in the forest, Ved-Vyas came to visit the Pandavas. Ved-Vyas told them that they should pray to Lord Shiva. But since Arjun was the best suited amongst the Pandavas for worshipping Lord Shiva, Ved-Vyas taught Arjun a special mantra. He then asked Arjun to go to Mount Indrakila and pray to Shiva there. Mount Indrakila was on the banks of the river Bhagirathi. Arjun went to Mount Indrakila and made a shivling out of clay and started to pray to Lord Shiva. The news of Arjun's wonderful tapasya spread everywhere. Arjun stood on one leg and continually chanted the mantra that Ved-Vyas had taught him. Suddenly, Arjun saw a boar. Arjun thought that this fierce boar might have come to distract him from his tapasya. Alternatively, it might be a relative of the several demons that he had killed in the past, and therefore might wish him harm. Thinking this, Arjun picked up his bow and arrow and let fly an arrow at the boar. Meanwhile, Lord Shiva had decided to subject Arjun to a test, and he had also arrived at the spot disguised as a hunter. This form of Shiva is often referred to as Kirat Avatar. When Arjun shot an arrow at the boar, so did Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva's arrow struck the boar on its hind side, and Arjun's arrow struck the boar in its mouth. The boar fell down dead. A dispute started between Arjun and the hunter about who had killed the boar. Each claimed it for his own. Soon the argument turned into a fight. But whatever weapons were hurled by Lord Shiva were easily repelled by Arjuna's weapons. When all the weapons were exhausted, the two started to wrestle. After the fight had gone on for a while, Lord Shiva gave up his disguise of a hunter and displayed his true form to Arjuna. Arjun was ashamed that he had been fighting with the very same person to whom he had been praying. "Please forgive me," said Arjun. Shiva accepted Arjun's apologies and confronted that he came there to test his skills. He then asked Arjun what he wanted from him. Arjun wanted the boon that he might obtain glory on earth. He said, "O Lord, if you are pleased with me, then I humbly ask that you bestow upon me your irresistible personal weapon, known as the Pashupat." Lord Shiva replied, "O son of Kunti, I will give you this weapon. You are capable of holding, throwing, and withdrawing it. Not even Indra, Yama, Kuver, or Varun knows the mantra to this weapon, what to speak of any other man. However, you must only use it against celestial fighters. The Pashupat should never be released at lesser enemies, or else it may destroy the creation. This weapon is discharged by the mind, eyes, words, or a bow. No one in the three worlds of moving and non-moving creatures can withstand its force." Arjun then bathed for purification and stood before Shiva to receive the mantra. The god gave his weapon to Arjun, and it then waited upon him just as it waited upon Lord Shiva himself. When the celestial saw the fearful weapon standing in its embodied form by Arjuna's side, the earth trembled, and terrible winds blew in all directions. Thousands of conches and trumpets were heard resounding in the sky. This was such a divine weapon that its possession made Arjuna invincible.